Good morning, everybody. What's up? 8:15 in the morning. Haven't got any sleep, but for good reasons. I got a hold of some, there's a gnat in here, but I got a hold of some magnesium. And you know what they say, that you have to pay normally a hefty penny if you want good medicine. So I had to pay, you get all these different brands at Walmart, Equate, and all these different other brands, but I remember hearing that years ago. I've heard it years ago, as far as like ginger and all this other stuff, but I ended up getting a hold of some magnesium. I would reach for the bottle, but I'm just lazy and don't want to do it. But I had a big problem with my health. Still do, to some degree. Real bad migraines, which from the years of taking sinus relief pills plus 2 migraine relief or headache relief pills, it really just wore my system down to the point where I really couldn't. In the past 24 hours, I've seen the difference in the magnesium supplement, and it's a healthy awakening, I guess you could say, as far as just being up. It doesn't. I'm not really. Without those supplements, I would be aching my ass off right now and would not be making a video. But sorry, y'all. Like I said, it's a gnat in here, but I really just wanted to get to a message to Zachary Hubbard of Gematria Effect News and Sports. I watch his videos every day. I have YouTube Premium, so I'm able to download videos and bring them back, here to the tent where I can watch these videos. And what Zach does on the Richter scale, so to speak, of information is practice. He doesn't practice this, but he studies it is an actual practice of the Kabbalah, and the Jesuits, and what it is that they use numbers, coding numbers into words is verbatim what he says. It's the practice of coding numbers into words. So it's a basic concept of certain numbers that you guys have ever seen over and over in your life. Everything has a vibration, everything has a meaning to it. There's nothing on this planet that serves no purpose, even things down to our alphabet and our numerical system. So I'm someone who, like my father, I have a very long attention span. Like my dad used to listen to sports radio before there were cell phones, and I used to, as a kid, sit over there like, how the hell is he listening to these guys just talk? How can you follow the game and you not watching it on television? So next thing I know, when I came in, when I started my journey into the truth about, the world and stuff, I found myself being able to listen to hours upon hours upon hours upon hours of information. And so with Gematria effect, it's not so much of the work that I acknowledge, because like I said, on the Richter scale of the potency of his information, it's, I would say, in the top 3 of the different methods that come down from the top, whether it's the FBI, CIA, the Pentagon, the Pope, or whoever it may be, these people or organizations that are in high position of power. When these orders come down, I believe that there is an aspect that there are people who are educated in this field of saying, oh, okay, I see the message, but I also see the message behind the message. So, for example, when this all rung a bell to me was when I was watching Martin Lawrence in the show Martin, and Shanae said, because I would drop kick your ass into 42. And that was Martin's number. His apartment number was apartment 42. And I was like, when Zach mentioned that, as far as the, you know, these concepts, I was like, that's odd. You know, that was the first thing I thought of, was like when she said I would drop kick your ass into 42. And so I then, you know, go into my brain, not willingly, just my brain just works like this, where I was like, wait a minute, didn't that baseball player Jackie Robinson wear that number too? I was like, what's up with that? And you know, those were the two that I just instantly thought of, you know. So there was some validity in it for me, to the point where I watch every single video, every single one. Even in some cases the 9-hour streams, but not to be too long-winded, because this message is specifically for Zach. And it's that, you know, it breaks my heart, man. It really does. It breaks my heart to hear all of the different avenues that you're willing to take to have your channel be successful. Now, I just got done watching a video where this guy, I think his name was Joseph, and you know, that video to me, you guys going back and forth, I'm gonna save what I thought about that if I ever get a chance to speak to you, because of my cell phone being disconnected. I you know, and then I work 4 days out of the week. I'm off for 3 days, so, you know, I occasionally go right across the street here to Walmart, get on Wi-Fi, and I see just a couple of your lives and stuff like that. I've called in. I actually called in, I think last August. I think I called in last August, if I'm not mistaken, on like the 24th or something like that, because I knew my phone was getting cut off. And I've never called into a show before. You know, again, being a kid growing up was like, man, you know, I'd like to know what that call-in stuff. I remember my mother tried to do it with a radio show one time, and it was, you know, so corny, but it does break my heart to see all of the different avenues in which you take, or you're willing to take, to have your work be seen in a more respectable light and on a bigger platform. And you know, like I said, I've kept up with you for, you know, every day. You know, I remember the video for New Year's when you said that everything is gonna be, you know, you were like, you know, we're gonna focus on fitness and health. And to see all these different topics outside of that topic, you know, that lets me know, like, you know, because trust me, I'm the most inconsistent person. I sometimes talk and go off on tangents, but you veered away from that, and it lets me know, like, if you had a desk, there's a lot of stuff scattered around your desk as far as something else, you know, again, to propel your channel higher than where it is now. And I'm someone who I have a high level of confidence to the point where, you know, some people would call me arrogant, and I would almost say we're just alike. We're just alike in a lot of ways in regards to how we speak about issues concerning the human condition and weight and behavior and all of these different things. And you know, I'm unapologetic about it, fearless. There is nothing. You know, that story that you tell about the guy who made the plans to want to interview you and stuff like that, and then at the last minute he stepped out because he said that you wasn't a Christian or whatever. And, you know, again, that to me was like, you know, there are about 97% of men out here who are complete. They've had the fight taken out of them. And there's not a lot of people that I hear on your show that call in, really. I mean, a lot of them irritate the hell out of me. You have no idea. I was sitting there the other day outside and I just thought, I'm listening to the call, and I knew the guy was Hispanic. As soon as I heard him talking, yeah, man, like, you know, fucking, like, the whole fucking thing is like, you know, fucking, and I'm like, nah, I can't, you know, I use profanity, but when it's, again, they either have that going or they're doing the, what's up, Zach? Hey, what's up? You're on, let's go, what's up? Yeah, I was just calling to, and I'll be like, dude, it amazes me the physical and mental conditioning that they've gotten people to. It shows even in their voice over a phone. It's like, my goodness. And that was one. I've never done that, but I had to. And I mean, it was probably halfway through the video of like an hour and something long, and I didn't want to hear it no more. That was the one guy. Yeah, man, we the effing you know, it's like, what the F, man? Like, it's just, and I'm just I can't, because a lot of now this is where I start going off, but my background in this area of what I can tolerate when it comes to language is that I have a spirit of somebody who is in like 1950, 60, 70. You know, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir. I don't use words like, cap, bruh. I don't use these words. And it's not by choice. This is just who I became over time. I hated trends. A lot of trends that I noticed, I went through a lot of that stuff, and by the time I was damn near 16, I wasn't that type of person. I was trying to find myself within my own household, between my brothers, being the middle child. I was trying to find my way in school, being a less than mediocre student. You know, there were other things. There was so much I was worried about, to the point where I was like, man, I ain't worried about trying to dress like this person or that, because even my parents weren't gonna buy me those type of clothes. They weren't gonna do that whatsoever. So there was no point, unless my brother gave me some hand-me-down, for me to try to keep up with the trends. So when I hear a lot of people talk and stuff like that, it irritates me. It frustrates me to the high heavens. You have no idea. I heard something at work today that just made me cringe. Like, forgot what it was, but I remember one incident. I was in the office and I heard the two people outside. He was like, man, these things are literally coming out perfect. Thanks. Thank you. I'm just like, yeah, whatever, man. Like, I can sense the phony, fake fraud facade in it all. Like, I could just sense it, you know, just so disingenuous and whatever else. But when I hear all these different things like, yeah, man, you should go to a stand-up, and there is nothing funny about your work, sir. Sorry, I'm focusing on the net. There is nothing funny about Gematria. There is nothing funny about human sacrifice to wield a certain power over the masses spiritually, through time and witchcraft and all these other things. There's nothing funny about that. So when I hear people like, again, they're just making suggestions, but to me, I take it personal, because I'm like, bro, me personally, when I talk about stuff like this and things that, really matter, I get a little passionate to the point where I've actually had people say, oh man, and trust me, if I had $1 for every time someone said it, I would be recording this video from a mansion. But if people did, oh man, you're so funny, man, I come off like a Richard Pryor, just raw, gee golly whiz, I'm just speaking my mind. If you don't like it, that's my humor. I guess I could, describe the best way. It's just, I'm not, nothing I say, all the voices, and I have one friend, and she's like, Charles, you're so animated. And I've wielded to that analysis about myself through other people. I've heard even my own parents, they labeled it dramatic, or theatrical, whatever it is. I know it's the right stuff, because I actually give a damn about stuff that matters. And when it hit a particular audience of people, it resonates to the point where they're like, dude, this nigga here is like, every job I've went to, I'm the guy that's normally saying what everyone's thinking, but I don't do it to create conflict. I'm doing it like, y'all actually like know this about this person, that they treat y'all like this, and nobody's either tried to leave and find another job, or nobody tried to professionally say, hey man, you being an asshole, and this ain't cool. Y'all this is a daily routine of, I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't like this, oh, here they come. And then you just swallow it all. Man, I cannot do stuff like that. That makes me sick. It makes me nauseous. And just, yeah. So, there's nothing funny or comical about your work. There is no, and I was going to do the same thing about the Hebrew Israelites in these communities that they set up, that we live in a time, okay? We live in a time where in the last 70 years, there has been massive mind control propaganda shoveled down the world, not only Americans, but the world. 70 years. And I don't do quote unquote research. I don't. A lot of stuff I know, it just flows. It just flows out or whatever. And people have become so empty on so many levels. You cannot run a community of any kind outside of your family, period. What about my neighbors? No. Well, what about my best friend from childhood? No. Well, what about these guys who say that they have the same beliefs? No. We live in a time, and we've been living in this time, where in the last 70 years, a person who knows anything about real wisdom will say, we do not need to go to a church, mosque. We don't need to participate in a lot of different things that people would consider uniting, okay? Because people are so malicious that you cannot expect people outside of your home 24 hours a day, 300. You cannot expect these people to be on the same page with you all year round. It's not gonna happen. It's not. I like to say that there are 2 to 300,000 people on this planet who are actually walking a path that I will call spiritual. 2 to 300,000. Not even 500,000. I think that's a pretty good number of people that you may walk it, talk it, all this, but it's not in you. It didn't choose you. What is it? It's almost like a destiny angel where you have a heightened sense of life, almost to the point where you're not afraid of death. Because you've seen life in a way in which it just like, nah, I'm uninterested. I'm uninterested. And that, I'm speaking for myself. So a lot of other people, they may cling to certain things, but I can tell you right now, if it ain't no wife, if it ain't no kids, mom and dad you taking care of or something like that, there's nothing on this planet, not a job or anything that should want to say, man, I want to live so long to see the outcome of this, because everything is going backwards. I say this a lot to my friend who, like I said, she's my only friend, and she wants to be a boy. She comes from New York, so she has that up-tempo, not only mindset, but she has that up-tempo and crooked way of thinking as far as her sexuality. She's one of the people that can finish sentences before I'm even done talking, and I'm like, wow, that's incredible. Not too many, I ain't gonna say not too many, not nobody I know that can do that. Outside of, my sorry y'all, I'm looking for my socks. Outside of my old buddy. But other than that, see y'all, I just coincidentally be matching, boy. I can just grab random clothes and it just so happen to all go together every time. Anyway, but yeah, Zach, man, it breaks my heart to see a person like yourself go through all of this fluff, and it's not disrespect to you because you're trying to find something, and it breaks my heart to see you go through this stuff, man. You know what I mean? Like, so what I'm proposing is that we try to I ain't gonna say we, it's normally me, but that'll have to do the calling in, but try to have I can interview you. All my questions come from the hip. But it will be questions that I think it could draw in a couple more 100 subscribers, not only to your channel, but also help me to do what I've been doing on my channel with only a couple 100 subscribers, which is, obviously my goal is to become monetized, because I've done this corporate work thing for quite some time, and I've experienced a lot more downs than ups, and I think I have enough experience in this field, which we would call the rat race, where I could abort and finally do something for myself. Again, this is a proposal. I hope you see this. And again, I'm the guy that called, and I talked to you for maybe 45 minutes, for about maybe 25 minutes, I would say. We talked, and I kind of went off on a jab, just, because I never spoke on a radio show, or quote unquote call-in show. So I was just really excited, and but I've not missed a beat since since that Jiminy Crickets. Since that show, I haven't missed a beat, and I told you I've just been blessed with that spirit of having a longer than 10 minutes. Excuse me, I gotta fix my door. Having a 10-minute attention span. Just blessed that way. It really is a blessing, because a lot of people just, for whatever reason, they just don't have a hunger for that type of information. They say, "Oh man, you saying the same thing every day," and yeah, true. But I don't want to be too long-winded. I'm gonna get some breakfast and probably for the sixth time try to get some sleep. But I'm off today, tomorrow, and the next day, and of course I'm gonna try to get somewhere where hopefully I have a lot of time. I say a lot of time, but have a little time to call in and to have this interaction between us two. Again, I really do believe that not only your channel, but my channel as well, stand a great chance of taking off in a direction, just simply because of who I am as a person. I've already willed it to the fact that people enjoy my conversation, but at the same time, I'm very reclusive. Very reclusive. I don't like to talk at all, really. I'm somebody who I've just checked out as far as trying to find a friend or anything like that. I have one friend that I told you as far as the sexual confusion goes. But, again, my goal is to start my own thing. I've heard all of these different stories you've told about all the help that you've given people. And I know this to be a thing, because when I'm at work, a lot of jobs I've had where people have shook my hand. "Oh man, Charles, what's up, man, Charles?" For some reason, and I know why, because I'm a spiritual person, so I sense these things like a bloodhound, where I'm like, bro, it's okay. I know people do this. I know, and I've told these stories at work when I'm telling people, like, I'm very aware of people and their, again, malicious behavior, where they're like, "Man, I don't know, man, Charles cool, but like, Charles think everybody owe him something." I've heard that come out of people's mouths. "Yeah, man, man, Charles, you think everybody against you, huh?" And they say it in a manner, in which it's like, it's a question / statement / like, "I'm just trying to give you some advice." That's how they try to pass the message to me, from what I can gather. And it gets to the point I'm like, oh man, just a very weak, 40, 50 years ago, I'd be nobody in regards to just how I behave. But because of this society, I'm somebody who comes off as very militant, angry all the time. I'm like, man, oh man. And what they call it, a resting bitch face. I have that to the point where my own dad and them were just like, "Man, why people don't want, you wonder why people don't do blah 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 blah." I'm like, dude, shut up. Like, this is just the face. This is my mom and you combining y'all DNA to make this face. It is what it is, man. I can't change it. So I check all the boxes for somebody who was, I guess, a renegade or a rogue, whatever the hell you want to call it, an outcast. 30 minutes already. Trying to think of anything. I've been thinking about this video for probably a whole week. But again, I just want to contribute to something outside of Domino's. You know, my goal is to buy a vehicle, or, you know, in particular a van, and gut it out, live in it. I've had an apartment and stuff before. that's just by choice of me wanting to live that way, and house on wheels. I live a very simple life, so I always saw myself having a laptop or all these other devices to be able to communicate, go live, or you give me a call anytime and I'll answer, and boom. You know, I'm not as advanced. I think this is probably more important information, but I'm not nowhere near on your level. I'm not even an amateur in Gematria, but I know I can watch certain things, football games or something. I can spot out things like, yeah, okay, I see what you're doing there. I could do stuff like that. But I think I add a layer. You're just cheese, mayonnaise, and bread. Or you're meat, mayonnaise, and bread. Well, I would like to put some meat. Cheese. Some cheese on your content burger, and shove it down the people's throats to the point where, you know, they actually, you know, they start to dig the camaraderie between us two. Never have to worry about me saying, you know, hey man, Zach, thank you for putting me on, but you're just a scumbag, you know, like, again, I've dealt with this in the workplace. I know how people do. They shake your hand. I hate using certain like terms and stuff, but it's like they will shake your hand, bro, and just stab you in the back. And it's damn near built out of like them being retarded or something. Them not understanding, like, they're gonna know. They're gonna watch the video, or they're gonna do this or do that, and I'm gonna get busted. You know, and then I gotta start backtracking. They don't think that far. They just think, well, you know, I'm just giving my opinion. Again, I said this in a video that I made where one of the guys at work just walked up to me and was like, damn, Charles, I don't know why Ed talks so much shit. And I don't even speak to Ed outside of hello. But he was just like, I don't know why Ed talks so much shit about you, man. You literally do everything I ask you. And I was like, well, thank you. I didn't really want to know that, but, you know, whatever. Nice to know. And, you know, I told him, I was like, bro, it doesn't surprise me. You don't have to explain and all this other stuff. It's okay. You don't have to explain. I know what you're getting at. But, yeah, man, it's time to get breakfast. It was like 9 o'clock in the morning. Chilling, got me sleep. So I'm going to take care of that. I hope this message gets to you, man. I'm out.